on any events or developments in Egypt and have instead been dealing with their own problems, and for one simple reason. Any kind of response from the Jordanian authorities will incite or instigate a stronger street response in Jordan. As you may already know, several thousand Jordanians have been taking to the streets for the last 3 Fridays after the noon prayers, demanding major political reforms. King Abdullah, the king of the country, has responded swiftly to demands to sack Prime Minister Samir Rifai and his cabinet and appoint a new prime minister who was sworn in along with his new cabinet on Wednesday evening to carry out new political reforms. Now, the new prime minister, Maruf al-Baghit, is viewed as a conservative politician. He's a former retired army general. He is not necessarily viewed like his predecessor as a pro-Western prime minister or a pro-business prime minister. So he's expected very quickly to carry out major political reforms in order to silence the masses here in Jordan, and including opposition parties, the largest one, the Muslim Brotherhood, who have been, by the way, invited to join this government, have said that they're willing to give Maruf al-Baghit, the new prime minister, a chance to carry out these reforms. But as I said, the authorities here will continue to refrain from commenting on the events in Egypt because of the very sensitive situation here, the possible protests that may take place. But I can tell you that on the Jordanian streets, we've witnessed several sit-ins and demonstrations outside the Egyptian embassy in Amman, hundreds of people coming in every day, organizing sit-ins and supporting the Egyptian people in this revolution. So I can tell you that the street reaction here is more prone to supporting the revolution rather than Mubarak himself. We do know that privately Jordanian officials have been contacting the United States and other officials in the region in an attempt to try to support Mubarak and try to keep him in power for as long as possible to maintain the status quo. But the street reaction, as I said, is much stronger here, with Jordanians supporting Egyptians in this fight. But we can't necessarily say that we would see similar unrest or turmoil here in Jordan. We will have to wait and see what the new prime minister will have to deliver on political reforms, especially a new election law that many complain favors pro-monarchy and tribal loyalists to other activists.
Nisreen, many thanks. Nisreen El-Shumaila there in Amman. Let's go to Jerusalem then. Al Jazeera's Cal Perry is there. Cal, you can imagine Jerusalem looking pretty nervously at what's going on tonight in Cairo.
Absolutely, and I don't think it's unreasonable at all to assume that Israeli officials, just like American officials, are standing in front of their televisions waiting to see how this unfolds. It's becoming clearer and clearer that the Israeli government is going to toe the same line as the American government, which is to say nothing. Silence is golden. To see how this unfolds. For the Israelis, the key here is stability, and they'll really take it any way they can get it. This cold peace that's existed between Egypt and Israel for the past 30 years really is a cornerstone for the region. And as my colleague Ayman has said many times in Cairo, the way Egypt goes, the way the region goes, and the Israeli government is keenly aware of this. Now, one of the really interesting things that's happened tonight was the anticipation that perhaps President Mubarak would hand power off to Vice President Omar Suleiman. He is a well-known quantity here in Israel. He's made dozens of visits. He's been key in any negotiations between Hamas and Israel, especially on the issue of Gilad Shalit, the Israeli soldier who was kidnapped in 2006. Now, it seems as we watch the pictures from the square in Cairo that Omar Suleiman is basically connected now to Mubarak in the eyes of the protesters. For Israel, that could potentially become a bad situation because, of course, they share a border with Egypt. As long as that border stays quiet, I think silence is golden for the Israeli government. The moment that that border flares up, if we see any violence, you can bet that that no comment is going to turn into a very stern comment very quickly, Adrian.
Cal, many thanks indeed. Al Jazeera's Cal Perry there in Jerusalem. Let's go back then to Tahrir Square, Liberation Square in central Cairo. It's difficult to tell from this angle, looking down, whether the crowd is thinning. It's still certainly very angry, the crowd of people there. Al Jazeera's Hoda Abdul Hamid joins us once again. She's looking down on that crowd too. We were talking to Charles Stratford, our colleague, Hoda, who was saying that some of the crowd had begun to spin off and head towards the state television and radio building. I mean, do you get a sense that those people are beginning to dwindle away?
Yes, they're definitely dwindling away, and as we've been saying for the past half hour, it's a complete different atmosphere, one of anger. Now I've asked people how they